It's taking its sweet time, but here we are. Welcome everyone joining us on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you find us. Good to have you. We're going to give it another minute for everyone else to join us on Zoom, and then we'll get going. In the meantime, you know what to do. Okay. So if you haven't already, find a comfortable sitting position. And gently bring the flashlight of awareness onto the breath. And with that, take a couple of minutes to deeply relax and let go. This is our starting point every time. This is what I call base camp to get ready for the ascent. We're going to start today inviting into our space, into this sacred space, energies of wholeness, harmony and peace, calling Shalom. And if you chanted to let the breath find its natural rhythm again, its natural flow. Relaxing and releasing a little bit more. Perhaps today would be a good day to do this little Zen meditation exercise that we did, I think, a couple times already this past year. I think I do it every 6 months or so. I think we might be due. I like to do this to kind of check in and see how I am doing with my ability to center myself, what we call one-pointed awareness. And so we take as the object of our meditation for this exercise pretty much what we always do, the sensations of the breath coming in and out of the nostrils, but then we're going to add counting to the practice today. We're going to count 1 for a complete observed breath cycle. The breath cycle is 1 in-breath and 1 out-breath. The end of the out-breath is the conclusion of 1 breath cycle. We observe as the breath comes in. We observe as the breath goes out. 1. And we observe as the breath comes in. Observe as the breath goes out. 2. And on we go, steadfastly observing. This is really a practice of Hatmada, the pillar of Hatmada, of steadfastness, persistence, one-pointed awareness. And we count like this up to 10 breath cycles. At the end of the 10th breath cycle, we start again at 1. Now, pretty simple exercise in and of itself, but obviously it has a caveat. And the caveat is that every time we get distracted by a thought, we have to stop and start again at 1. Even if we were at 9, we have to stop and start again at 1. Now here are some tips along the way. This is not competition. I know the Western mind, we are given a task, something to do, and here we go trying to compete with ourselves, with trying to outdo the mind, trying to, whatever it is we're going to start trying to do, it's not that. We have to do our meditation as we always do our meditation, completely relaxed, just aware, just allowing, without stressing, without getting into that competitive mode of I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this right and I'm going to do this perfectly and I'm going to get to 10. We might never ever get to 10. For some of us, we might get to 2, maybe 3, and then the thought will arise and we'll have to come back to 1. And for the next 25 minutes left of our meditation, that's what will happen. We'll get to 3, but we will practice the other pillar, the one of patience, savlanut. The other tip I'm going to give you is not to try to manipulate the breath. Maybe to speed it up so that we can really get fast to the 1 breath cycle, so that we can get the 1 and then the 2 and then the 3. No, not at all. None of that. None of that. We let the body breathe. as it needs to, as usual. We're not changing the breath, coercing the breath, manipulating the breath. We are still observing what is. Nothing has changed. Third tip, be absolutely honest. Again, this is not competition. Nobody is going to get a medal for getting to 10. Probably nobody is going to get to 10. So that's not even the point. We are honest, truthful. When a thought arises, what do I mean by a thought arises? A thought that is not connected to the direct experience of meditation. So, for example, the thought of, like I just did, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, breathing out, breathing out, breathing out, and then the thought 1. Those are connected to what is going on in the moment, here and now. That's not the kind of thoughts I'm talking about. I'm talking about the thoughts that are not about this. Stories or things of the past, of the future, storytelling, fantasies. Things we have in our mind that talks around the meditation, perhaps. Thoughts like, I should shift position, or maybe this kind of self-talk. That's not part of the practice. But again, if you use repetition like in, out, out, and then counting 1, that's good. That's observing the breath. Other than that, it's a thought. So let's be very honest and not continue counting because of our competitive nature, by ignoring that we just had that thought that was not directly related to observing the breath coming in and out. I hope I was as clear as can be. There's a lot to set up even for such a simple exercise. And see what happens. Just be curious. You might get to 2, you might get to 3. Maybe in 10-15 minutes as you settle in and calm down even more. You might get to 5, maybe 6. Who cares? It doesn't matter. There were times where I thought I was doing so great. I thought I was so onto it that there was no thought. And then I find myself counting 13, 14. And that's when I realize that part of me was counting and the other part has completely drifted away. So watch for that as well. Of course, you go back to 1 when you catch yourself at 12 or 13 with a little smile. Laughing at ourselves is always good medicine. And see how you do. Patiently, persistently, with a smile and great compassion in your heart for yourself. Just check in, see how you're doing. How is your concentration? And we gently let go of our little exercise. Whatever happened is exactly and perfectly what happened. And you can just use it, whatever you found, as a tool to become a little bit more aware. Those kinds of little exercises allow sometimes for a different window to open onto understanding our functioning. So I hope this was helpful. I like to do it every so often. It's a good place to check in and see how we are doing, how we are progressing. And sometimes, some days we come to meditation with a very agitated mind, and no matter what we do, we can't focus at all. And if we had done the exercise a different day, it would have yielded a different result. Which is why we always remain patient and compassionate with ourselves, and just know that whatever the experience is only bound by the moment and doesn't mean anything in the long term. With that, we'll close this meditation together, dedicating our practice to all beings. And just as we have created sacred space by invoking Shalom, invoking wholeness, harmony and peace, so do we seek to invoke Shalom for all beings the world over. Moderni. Thank you.
Madai.
Thank you.
See you Thursday.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
That
everybody.
hard.
I didn't hear, Jeannie.
I said that was hard.
It is hard, isn't it?
That was really hard. Oh my goodness.
Do
Thank
it
you.
again. Do it again.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Olivia.
Take care.
Thank you, Rabbi. See you Thursday.
Bye.